Gotta have that iconic come and sit down and take a drink intro. Guess I'll go ahead and start talking now. Hey guys, it's been 7 months since I last updated you guys on what was going on in my life, and excuse me, what life has been like being a music educator for these past few months. A lot's happened, as it always does. Every time I make one of these videos, it feels like an eternity has gone by, and I am having to fill you in on years of time when it's really not even been that much. The last time I left you guys off, I had just ended year 2, and it was in May, literally right after I got out of school. So I have all of the summer and the first half of this year to tell you about. This video is going to be a big one. A very big change took place that I'm not going to talk about right away, because there's some things that happened beforehand that I need to discuss and just kind of make known, and then I'll lead into the big thing. Okay, so sorry y'all, I'm recovering from a head cold. Started right after Christmas. Listen, oh my gosh, if you're a fledgling teacher out there and you're watching this, just understand, if you get sick on a break, it's horrible, because it lingers, and it just takes your whole break. Thankfully, due to Jesus having mercy on me, this one has not been bad, and I've not actually felt bad. I've just been really gunked up, but there's that. Before I do get started, I gotta show you this really cool mug. So me and my mom and my sister went out to this pottery place, and I made a mug that's got my snare drum on it and Reeves and my favorite innovative percussion logo on there. And then when I finished the cup, it has my favorite rudiment in there, and that's some cheese fives. So there's a cheese 5 rudiment at the bottom of the cup. It's really cool. Just thought I'd show you. Anyways, let's talk about this summer. So I believe when the last time I left you off, we had not gone on the 3 vacations that somehow me and my wife had found ourselves going on this past summer. Well, we went to the first trip we took was to Savannah, Georgia. Beautiful city. We went there for our 1-year marriage anniversary. Woohoo! And let me tell you, that is, if you ever get the chance to visit, that is one of the, you wouldn't think it would be, but that is one of the best places to go to vacation. I'm a big history buff, so of course we went to 3 different Civil War, not only battlefields, but forts, and I loved getting to see all the stuff. I got a hat from each one, because I'm just that guy. We went, where else did we go? We went to several really nice places. There's a really old-timey ice cream shop where the owners of it were also somehow involved with the James Bond movies, which was really cool. We went on a historic tour of Savannah, and there's a lot of very interesting things that took place in Savannah. Of course, it was on Sherman's march to the shore, or to the Atlantic, so it's got some Civil War stuff. It has, if you're into this sort of thing, it's got a lot of haunted places you can go visit. It's got several scenes from the movie Forrest Gump were filmed there, And so if you're really interested in that, you can go look at where that all took place. Like the famous bench where Forrest is sitting is in that city. Let's see here. What else did we do down there? There was this really big bridge that scared the crap out of my wife because she hates driving over bridges ever since that boat crashed into the bridge not too long ago. Freaks her out. And it was really steep, which was kind of unusual, but yeah. Then, of course, we went on vacation with her parents. We went to the beach and had some fun times. Spent a lot of time in the pool. Got very sunburnt. Went out to the actual beach a few times. Spent a lot of time going to the gym and just kind of relaxing. Feeling good for a little while. Let's see, what else did we do? Not really all that much that happened at the beach. It was just more of a spending time with family type thing. The last vacation we went on right before band camp this past year, this past semester, was a trip to Wisconsin to see Baylor, who is one of my wife's really close friends. That was an incredibly long drive. Very pretty drive, but oh my gosh, it was something in the realm of like 10 hours. And we did it all in one day, and I will never drive that long ever again. I want to save money for our flight next year. Woo! No, thank you. Yeah, that was something else. Went up there, had a wonderful time, got a tour of Wisconsin, went out and kayaked on the local lakes out there. We went to the Capitol and got a tour of the Wisconsin State Capitol. We went out to all the, I don't remember what they're actually called, but they're like little street fairs where they have all these different goods. Oh, farmers markets. We went out to all the farmers markets. I had some Wisconsin cheese curds where they actually do squeak. That's a real thing. Very good. Let's see here. Stayed on an air mattress in Baylor's living room. That was an experience. But yeah, we had a really good time, and I got to meet some of Baylor's friends. I went out to this really awesome book and coffee bar, which I had my very first affogato at, which is like a shot of espresso with vanilla ice cream in it. Really, really freaking good. Got some really good books while I was up there. Yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Of course, we also went to the beach with my parents. That was another thing. So I guess we went on 4 vacations this past summer. But yeah, all that set aside, summer was amazing. Fast forward a little bit. This year, once again, I went out and worked with the Heritage Front Ensemble and Drumline for band camp. They were doing some awesome stuff this year. We worked really, really hard. Kids were super excited about being there. Didn't have my buddy Tyler with me this time, but still an amazing opportunity, and I love getting to go out and work with those kids and just spend some time out there. It's a good warm-up going into band camp. Finished that week and went straight into my own band camp. End of last year, I kind of left off talking about how the drumline was set up at Carter for this semester. Let me tell you, this band camp was different in a good way from the previous 2 band camps I've had. The beef was almost non-existent. Almost. There was some, but not as much. But we were going on this show called Fate of the Gods. It was really entertaining. We did very, very well with the show. My front ensemble that I thought was going to shrink actually grew. We had several kids just randomly show up for band. And voila, here we go. I had one kid who switched from rack to bass drum at the start of the year, and has become an incredibly strong bass drummer. Just out of nowhere, got really, really freaking good. My snare drum section was very, very strong this year. To be honest, there really wasn't a weak section in the percussion this year, and it showed at the end of the year when I get to tell you where they placed. But they really went over the top this year. I was very proud of those kids. Marching season and that first semester, me to students wise, was very nice. I never really hit that burnout feeling that I usually feel right around the time things get really they get really going through the motions, like right there, right before indoor season starts. That's usually when my burnout hits. But I didn't feel that this year. It was nice. Yeah, as I said, my relationship with students this year was much better. It was great. Had a lot of really motivated kids. Have some really goofy kids. I had one student who is on the marimba line. Played marimba 3 for marching season. Made center for indoor. Genuine, sweet, loving person. Just super proud of them. They have come so far. And I'm looking forward to seeing where they go. Have tried to encourage them to go into music education. I don't know if it's going to be their life path, but going to be really good. Yeah, marching season came and went. We went to some new competitions this year, some things I'd never tried before. We had field mics this year, which was a fight in itself because the field mics that we bought were not very good. And so they would often cut in and out, and they had several problems we'll just leave it at that. They had several problems. But despite all that, at state championships this year, the percussion, you know how last year I said they came in, was it 9th in the state or 7th, one of those two? They came in 5th this year. We broke top 5 on year 3 of me being there. And to say that I am proud of those kids is an understatement. They worked so hard and they have come so far. And with some of them being, this is my first time in band. This is my first time reading music. That is unheard of. And they did it. And I'm super proud of them. So marching season comes and goes. I've had a really good year with most of my classes outside of band as well. My history of rock class this year was really good. I had a really great set of kids in that class, and I am really proud of just how they've really adapted to that curriculum, and they made it fun for me, which was really cool. General music's a hit or miss. We had some good kids, and we had some kids who tested the waters, but it's okay. It's okay. We learned some stuff in there. We did. We had indoor auditions in early September, I think. And the line was set up. I went smaller this year. We did 3 snares, 2 tenors, 5 basses, and we started out with 4 cymbals. We're now down to 3. So that is what it is. This show that I chose, or the show that we voted on last year, it's hard. And they are not moving as quickly as they think they should with this show. Now granted, Fate of the Gods, they whipped through like it was no problem for them. This show for indoor, they were struggling with. And we've made some solid progress, but it's not coming easy to them. And some of them are getting frustrated with it. But I think that the challenge is going to suit them well in the end. We started the indoor auditions, got all that done. We had our first few rehearsals, which went by really great. I actually had a staff team this year, which was awesome. Brought in this young guy by the name of Eli. He's been helping me out a whole bunch. We also had Khadijah, who is another band director friend of mine, come out and help. Crystal Smiley, who's been there a long time, also signed up to be part of our team this year. So we just had a really strong, right off the bat, already having a lot of personnel to help out where we needed to be. Super big victory. Funding wise, it's always a challenge, but we were making it work. We had the show, didn't have uniforms, had a plan for the floor. Everything was going smooth, for the most part. We had our Christmas concert. That went by really, really well. We played some hard music. The head band director left during that last week of school, right after the Christmas concert. He went to Midwest, and I got a personal victory out of that week, because I was kind of running the show by myself. The band was mine, and we read some really hard music. I pulled out a grade 5 for them and started chunking it through with them, and they are ready for grade 5, which makes me very happy for those kids. We learned the entire first movement of that piece, and then we learned some of the third, and then we were going to work on the second movement when I got back from break. This is the part where things changed. So during that last week, I've been doing a lot of soul searching. I've been doing a lot of soul searching. I got my love for teaching back, which made me happy. And I know now what I didn't know in this past video, that yes, I am intended to teach. That is God's will for my life right now. And I am supposed to be doing what I'm doing. And so I know I'm supposed to do that. However, some big things changed. During that last week, as I was kind of wrapping up the semester, a buddy of mine, also by the name of Eli, shot me a text and said, "Hey, I'm leaving my spot at Anderson County High School and Norris Middle, and I am going to Carnes High School. They are in need of someone with experience who is a percussionist to take over for me and pick up and continue the program for them." When I first looked at this offer, my honest opinion was, heck no. I'm not doing it. No. Find somebody else. I had already started indoor. We were already deep into rehearsals. I had already written the entire first movement of drill. And I was set. I was doing what I wanted to do. And God wouldn't let me let it go. It just kept resurfacing in my mind, and I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And I called some friends, and I asked them about what I should do. And after several people gave me some advice and their input on some things, I decided I'd put my application in. Sorry. I decided I'd put my application in, and I'd just go interview. Just go feel some things out. Just go see what it would even be like. Again, I was still completely skeptical at this point. I really didn't think that it was going to be anything. Well, I sent in my application, and on Wednesday, they had me interview of that week. Again, I sent in my application Monday, interviewed Wednesday. This went fast. Sent in my application, interviewed on Wednesday, and I met the head band director up there, and I met my principals, the principals at the school, and it was just this really warm feeling that I hadn't felt in a long time. It felt like home. And that was really hard for it to feel like home. I didn't want it to feel like home, but it did. I went and toured the band room. I got to see some things about the school. One of the biggest things that stood out to me was on top of their our main office in big bold letters is "In God We Trust." And for those of you guys who know me personally, faith is a big deal in my life, and Jesus is a really big deal in my life, and that really stood out to me. Well, I left the interview, and on Thursday, the very next day, I got a call, and they said, "Hey, I'd like to offer you the job." Now, this was very sudden. I really didn't think I was going to get it. I just thought I was going to go interview. It was going to be nice, meet some people, do some networking, be fine. I ended up getting the job. Actually, I got the call right as I was ending band class that Thursday. We had just finished working on the piece, let the kids pack up, and I got the call. Sorry, there was what felt like a chip on my cup. And I started crying. I did. I hung up the phone and I called my wife, and I was crying out there in the hallway. We had a substitute who was filling in for the head band director, and so I just told him, "Hey, take the class for a second until they dismiss. I gotta go talk to somebody." And I stood in the auditorium and I cried. I spent a little bit of time there and recomposed myself and came back into the band room and acted like everything was fine. Again, I called all the people that I had called asking for advice, and I walked it through one more time with them. And their biggest thing for me to do was to make a pros and cons list. And so I wrote down all the pros and all the cons to taking this job, of if I should or not. And because of some things that I'm going to talk about in just a second, I decided that I was going to take it. The last day of school, there were no kids. There were some, but not very many. The principals had put out a breakfast for us. I had bus duty that morning, so I got there early. And I went and stood out there and did my bus duty. And I was preparing myself to go in and resign, which is probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. Well, the second hardest thing that I've had to do in my life. I had walked it through with my wife the night before of what I was going to say and how I was going to talk, and well, I got all my stuff together and I put it in my office chair, and because I was trying to avoid attention, I went out the back side of the school and I walked it all the way around to my car and I loaded up all my stuff. And then I went back into the band room and I got my stuff, my resignation letter and all that stuff together, and I walked up to the front office. By this time, any kids that were there were gone. And I walked into the office, and I thought I was going to be able to talk to the head principal. He ended up not being there. He was going to look at a project that was being built on the campus. And so I went to a longtime good friend of mine who is also now was one of my assistant principals. And I just said, hey, can I talk to you? And I went in and we shut the door and I sat down and I just said, hey, there was a lot more that I did say, but I can't say it all here. But the gist of it was, I feel that I need to leave. There are some reasons why that I can't really talk about here. But I feel like I need to go find another spot. And he completely understood. And one of my biggest insecurities as a band director was I sought the approval of everyone around me for what I did. I not only wanted my kids to approve of my decisions, but I wanted my coworkers to approve of my decisions. I wanted the people who knew me, who were also band directors, to approve of my decisions. I looked for everyone else's approval but my own. And that was where I found a lot of my self-worth. But he looked at me and said, I completely understand where you're coming from. You have only ever produced top-notch work that I've seen of you. And from every observation, you're doing what you need to do. And that was very appreciative. I'm glad that was the story that my admin had on me, and that gave me a lot of reassurance. Well, I handed him my resignation letter. They pulled in the head principal. I told him everything that I told the AP, and I cried a lot. And they just said they understood and that they wished me the best and that they couldn't fault me for taking the new job. And everything just kind of fell into place as it needed to. Well, I exited the office. He said I could hold on to my keys until I had gotten all my stuff together. And so I went back down to the band room and I got the rest of my stuff and I put it by the door. I had a student that had forgotten their headphones. One of my indoor kids, one of the kids that I had been pouring into a whole bunch, and I had just put out on our band app that I had to cancel the indoor camp because we were supposed to have a Saturday camp the very next day. And she came in and she asked me why. And I almost broke down crying right there in front of her, but I kept my composure. And I just said, I'm about to tell everybody why all at once. Just don't worry about it. Get your headphones. Go enjoy your Christmas break. And she left, and my wife came in to help me pack up all my stuff. And I sat down at my desk for the very last time, and I made a video that I put out on the band app to the kids, explaining what was going on, explaining that I had just resigned and that I would not be returning, explaining where I went and that I was cheering for them and that I hoped the best for them. And that they are more than welcome to come say hi if they ever wanted to. I've concluded the video without crying, and then I cried in my office chair for a hot minute. That was hard. Yeah, that was really hard. The biggest thing holding me back was my indoor kids. And those kids who had really bought into me. They were the reason that I got up and went to school every day. And they helped me to find my love of teaching again. that last week. What you guys don't know, this semester was really hard for me on the teaching side. Kids were great, but there were some things that I was not in agreement with that went down that semester. And things just kind of kept building and building and building. And I did not feel that my skills and expertise were needed as much. Let me rephrase this. I did not feel that my skills and expertise were needed by those who worked around me. And so, because of that, I felt like it was my time that I needed to go. That it was time for me to say goodbye. Regardless of if that's true or not, I'll never know. And I don't really want to know. In all honest truth. I just kind of want things to clean break and be done. But, yeah. So I told the kids goodbye. I packed up all my stuff and I put it in my car. And I took a selfie. It's the worst selfie I've ever taken. My face was all puffy from crying, and it was the last selfie that I would ever take inside that band room. And I left. And I called the principal at the new school, well, one of the new schools that I was going to. I have 2 schools now. And accepted the job. My hope is that, because my job is still currently posted, my hope is that they will find someone who will love and take care of those kids like I did. I loved those kids. I loved those kids. There was a lot of them that were very, very special to me. I have one who gave me a dad mug because he said that I was the closest thing to a father that he had, and that I was a father figure to him. I still have that dad mug. It's sitting on my desk at my new school. I have notes from students from almost the entire band has given me a note at some point that I've kept, and they're in a binder in my new office. But this change now that I'm out, I now see that it needed to happen. And so my hope is, and I still plan to say hi at competitions and just kind of come in and occasionally just see how the kids are doing. Not at the school, but when we see each other at competition. And I've told them that if they ever need to contact me, my school email is public knowledge. I'll actually post it in the description of this video, so if you're a student of mine or a former student of mine watching this and you'd like to reach out because you have a question about something, I'm always more than happy to answer. But yeah, that happened. And so now I do get to talk about the more positive side of this. So I'm at 2 schools now. I actually just finished setting up the band room, as you now saw on that YouTube short I released about 2 hours-ish ago. That band room that you saw is my middle school band room. So I am the head band director now at Norris Middle. It's the school right across the street from where my wife works. My wife is actually my feeder. Oh, poop. I don't know how I just got coffee on myself, but I did. Oh, well. It's the feeder to the school that I'm in, and I'm stoked. The kids, a lot of the kids that know me or have already known me somehow. I know most of the high school that I work with now, which is Anderson County High School. They know me from having worked with me in the All-Star Band that I help out with every winter. And they're all super excited to have me out. I've heard back from several teacher friends that I have in the county that their kids are just super stoked to have me there. They're super excited to see what we do. I know there's been talk about wanting to really get the indoor program over there up and off the ground. But yeah, now I am a true director of bands. I have now 4 bands to my name now instead of just one. I'm responsible for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade bands at Norris Middle, and responsible for the high school band, of course, assisting there under the direction of the head director, who is super nice. I've talked to him already. We think a lot alike, which makes me really excited. And he has been super gracious, offered to come down and help me set up my band room the other day, and asked if I'd found everything okay and moved into the band room all right. I am genuinely excited for this work relationship. I feel like this is going to be a real step in the right direction. Super cool dude. I'm super excited to work up there. But yeah, while I am grieving the loss of my kids that I had poured so much into and all the things that I had built at Carter, I'm excited for the new opportunity that I'm about to get at Norris. And so, yeah, this is going to be a big change, but I feel like it's a welcome change. A lot of people have asked me since taking this job, are you going to start an indoor program at AC this year? To answer that question, no. No, I am not. To try and put an entire show together and get a floor and uniforms and do all that before February 8th, which is the first competition in our local circuit, which we'd be competing, would be a nightmare. So no, I'm going to hold off on that. And depending on how this year goes, I really want to get a feel of everything before I start adding more to my plate. It is possible that I might not do a indoor for Anderson County, but rather maybe get more involved in the percussion ensemble type stuff, and maybe go work with some other groups, just like as a tech. And just go help out wherever. I would still like to have my own program. That is the hope. I just don't want to overload my plate right now, especially since I am now responsible for 2 schools rather than 1. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, this new schedule is gonna be crazy. And I think I have some pictures that I'll put at the end of this video of my new band room. It's a neat little place. I'm super excited. My office is freaking huge. I have space enough for 3 desks in my office, so whenever I have a student teacher at some point, or if I have a tech that I work really closely with, they will have their own desk in my office, and it'll be great. Yeah, it's all excitement over here now. All excitement. On the personal life note, a lot has happened there as well. A lot of you know that my dad, for the past 10 years, has been fighting cancer. Well, in November, my dad won his fight with cancer, but not in the way that my selfishness and my prayers had hoped that he would win. My dad went home to be with Jesus. A little bit before Thanksgiving this year, and I took 2 weeks off of school to mourn and just be with family. That was really intense. You change a lot as a person when you lose a parent. And I feel now, while the change hurt a lot, I feel now that because of everything that's happened, I feel more of a man than I was before. There's a very quick growing up that you have to do when a parent passes away. I'm now looking after my mom and making sure that no one in the family gets left out. My dad was the social butterfly of the family, and he was often the life of the party. And so now I have those shoes to fill, and I'm trying my best to do so. You'll probably notice on my wrist, I don't know, though you've probably not seen it this whole video, but I wear his wristwatch every day to remind me of him. I bought the book that he was going through his Bible study. Kind of devotional. Peace for each day. And I picked up where he left off in it. And I have been clinging really close to Jesus right now. And I'm trying my best to have the faith that he had. My dad, he had a love for helping young children. He served in the children's ministry at Mount Harmony Baptist Church. And in his lifetime, he baptized and was responsible for leading so many kids to Christ. Even in the last week that he was here on earth. That Sunday before he died, he got up amidst all the pain that he was in, because his body was shutting down on him that last week. He got up, got dressed, went to church, baptized a young boy, came home. It took an hour to get him back in the house, or what Mom told me. And later that week, he would be admitted to the hospital for the last time, and he passed away. Yeah, a lot's happened. I'm not trying to be on a damp note here, but I'm okay now. I was not okay when it first happened, and there were several days that I just spent crying. But I'm thankful now, and I understand why the Lord took him, because he was in so much pain. My dad was a very strong individual. He never let in on any of the pain that he felt, but he was in so much pain. But he's no longer suffering anymore. He's at home with Jesus, and that is more than I could have ever asked for. And his legacy will live on in me and my sister. And yeah. Oh, there's another thing. My sister got married not too long ago. She almost had a Christmas wedding. It was December 22nd, I think. Went and spoke at that. That was crazy. But yeah, she's married now. Her and her husband Lakota are getting ready to move to New Mexico, so I get to go help with that process here soon. She graduates college this year, and I'm excited to go see her at graduation. She has told me that she is going to beat my GPA that I graduated with in college. We'll see if that happens when that gets there. But yeah, lots of change this year. Lots of change. Some painful change. Some good change. Some bad change. But I feel like my life is moving in a different direction. I feel like God is getting ready to lead me into a new thing, a big, bright new thing. So, yeah, that is life right now. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. My wife and my mother and father-in-law got me tickets to go to WGI Worlds again, so we're going again. And I have been trying to find footage of the early season stuff. There's not really been anything released that I can find yet, but I'm super excited for that. Yeah, that's where we're at. So I hope you liked the video. I'm gonna try and put some pictures of everything that's been going on here recently on the end of this video, and I hope you enjoy it. I don't know when as I said last time, I don't know when the next video will be released, so I guess just be patient until then. But yeah, thanks for watching.